Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader. Today is Tuesday, January the 25th, 2022. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, a silver alert results in a sad outcome. Tullahoma receives a large dog park grant, and the state legislature looks to regulate hemp and cannabis products. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. One man is deceased after apparently crashing his car off of Interstate 24 into Bradley Creek near the 120-mile marker in Coffee County. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued a silver alert on Tuesday, January 18th, for Donald Alvarez, who was last known to be in the Coffee County area traveling in a maroon Cadillac ATS. At approximately 4 p.m. Thursday, January 20th, Tennessee Highway Patrol helicopter spotted what appeared to be a maroon bumper near the 120-mile marker on Interstate 24 in Coffee County. Ground units arrived on the scene and discovered a vehicle matching the description of Alvarez's car upside down in a creek. According to Coffee County Sheriff Chad Parton, once the vehicle was removed from the creek, Alvarez's body was discovered inside. He was pronounced deceased on the scene. Our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to this family, said Parton, who said family from as far away as New York had descended on Coffee County to help look for Alvarez. Parton explained that the family lost contact with Alvarez around January 15th. He said that investigator Gullett began tracking electronic information through phone services and OnStar and worked diligently with THP and TBI. Parton explained that it appeared that Alvarez drove straight into the center median, got airborne, and landed in the creek upside down. Sheriff Parton added, quote, "I'm sure with all the rain we have had, the current is rapid and it looks like the current shoved the vehicle under the bridge. We have not been able to see that while driving and looking. I really want to commend Investigator Gullett for his due diligence and staying persistent on the case. We were afraid of this type of outcome, but at least the family knows and is able to have some closure," end quote. The interstate was shut down for approximately 5 hours while crews worked to remove the vehicle from the creek as Coffee County Rescue Squad divers arrived on the scene to aid in removing the vehicle in the 20-degree weather. Parton said that Alvarez resided in Marietta, Georgia, but had family in Illinois, Virginia, and New York. He was believed to be traveling back from a trip to Illinois. Parton said that Coffee County Sheriff's Department Captain Billy Butler and Gullett were with the family Thursday evening. Our deepest condolences go out to the family. At last night's Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, the Boyd Foundation donated $25,000 to Tullahoma's dog park support. We go now to that video for details.
At this time, I'd like to call on Dave Anderson, Director of our Tullahoma Parks and Recreation, for a presentation of the Boyd Foundation Dog Park Dash Grant Award. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Boyd Foundation Dog Park Dash Grant Program has funded more than 100 dog parks projects across Tennessee. The City of Tullahoma is fortunate to have received one of these grants in 2021 in the amount of $25,000. This money will be put to good use in updating our Pet Village Bark Park located at Wagner Park. After collecting data from online reviews of our dog park, along with social media surveys, it was determined that there is a need for additional seating, additional shade, and additional agility equipment for our animals at our dog park. The Tullahoma Parks and Recreation Department intends to utilize the funds from this grant award to address these needs. Tullahoma loves their animals, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome and thank our guests who are attending from the Boyd Foundation, Mr. Harrison Forbes and Mr. Dan Drogosh. Harrison,
Thank you. On behalf of the Boyd Foundation, it's great to be here tonight. I know we had a couple of scheduling as everything this fall. It's been a little bit difficult getting things on the books and getting everybody together. We're excited to be able to present this award tonight and the $25,000 grant. You know, this was a contest. It wasn't just a giveaway. Tullahoma earned it. We had, each year that we've done this, we've had, the year that you guys won this past year, we were only giving out 15 awards, and we had over 80 cities that applied. And so there were a lot. I mean, that's everybody from Memphis and Nashville and larger areas, and Tullahoma. They showed how much they wanted to utilize and upgrade the dog park that you have, and the citizens really came out in force and supported that through emails and letters that we got from the people here in Tullahoma. And so we're really excited to be able to see what you guys do with the money. And you know, a little background on why we're doing this. Randy Boyd, that's president of the University of Tennessee now. Randy started a company called Radio Systems back in the late 80s, early 90s, and built it to the largest pet product company in the world. And then he sold that a few years back, but that was very good for him and for his family. And so we used to do in PetSafe, which was one of their brands, a national version of this competition. And then when Randy sold the company and retired to be University of Tennessee chancellor, he said, you know, let's do something in Tennessee for Tennesseans. So that was what Dog Park Dash, that's how that was created, to build over 100 dog parks over a 3-year period, $3 million. We're exceeding that now because it's gone really well, and we really have enjoyed how well it's been received, and the communities, how much they get behind it. And, you know, a dog park is more than just a place for your dog to go to take a break. You know, one of the things that's great about dog parks is people come together in ways, you know, old, young, black, white, you know, Republican, Democrat, people seem to convene around their dogs and to have common ground to be able to talk about something positive. And, you know, with all the division going on, dog parks are a great way to kind of have a break from that, and people can find a lot of common ground from it. So we appreciate the time. Happy to present this check tonight. Maybe we can get a picture, and thank you guys very much for being part of the program. Thank you, sir. All right. The flag's there.
We'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Tennessee legislators are considering multiple cannabis proposals in 2022. On the hemp front, Representative Chris Hurt filed House Bill 1690 last week in an effort, he said, to legitimize the hemp industry. The bill would create a licensing requirement for retailers and wholesalers, establish a tax on the wholesale of hemp-derived cannabinoids, and also limit the sale of psychotropic hemp-derived products like Delta-8 to those residents 21 years of age and older. According to the Tennessee Growers Coalition, which collaborated with Hurt on the bill, the state could collect $160,000 annually in licensing fees and as much as $4 to $5 million in annual tax revenue. On the marijuana front, the Nashville Post reported that Representative Bob Freeman is soon expected to file a more expansive bill that would legalize marijuana for both medical and recreational purposes. According to Freeman, the so-called FACT Act would, quote, create the best cannabis program in America, much like we have it created for the hemp industry in Tennessee, end quote. The upcoming bill would include retroactive criminal justice reform, tax revenue for rural and minority businesses development, and support for Tennessee farms, among other features touted by Freeman. He added that the proposal could be a game changer for Tennessee. It is too soon to tell whether either of these proposals will become law, but they are strong indicators that the legislature will be forced to squarely address the question of cannabis reform during this legislative session. With public polling showing more than 80% support for reform, advocates finally have a reason for optimism in Tennessee. Tennessee is encouraging apprenticeship programs across the state to help workers receive training under the supervision of employers looking for workers. An apprenticeship is a proven training program that is used as a talent development strategy for recruiting, training, and retaining world-class talent and has been used in industry for decades. Apprenticeships are a work-based learning model where apprentices have supervised on-the-job training along with job-related education, all while earning a wage that increases during the progression of the program. In this video produced by the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, we learn about how a truck driving apprenticeship has helped one Tennessean make a U-turn in his life.
Basically, without this place, I really wouldn't have had a purpose.
Jackie Tucker is finding his way.
It's happened just like, I can't say anything else, but the good Lord intended it to.
He's back behind the wheel of a big rig in a seat he wasn't sure he'd ever sit in again.
I've got my CDLs in my pocket, which there might as well be an American Express black card.
The TLD Logistics Services Registered Apprenticeship Program in Crossville is helping Tucker jumpstart his trucking career.
We want to go above and beyond and make sure our drivers out there are professional drivers and trained better than what your normal drivers are trained.
TLD has dozens of apprentices in several programs, including one that partners with the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. It's one way the company is creating a pipeline of qualified drivers.
There's about 300,000 to 400,000 job openings right now for CDL holders.
Those CDLs, or commercial driver's licenses, are in high demand, and the folks who have them can take them to the bank.
Depending on how you want to run, you can make up to and over 100,000 a year.
Truck driving is an apprenticeship that can really pay off.
This country depends on truck drivers.
And Jackie Tucker, well, he's depending on the Registered Apprenticeship Program for his second chance.
If it hadn't been for Roger and TLD, I would have been in Tent City.
That's because 3 weeks ago, Tucker was locked up at the Bledsoe County Correctional Complex with no clue what was coming after incarceration. When those doors opened, TLD's Crossville operations manager was waiting on him.
You know, this man put me up in a hotel room, has put me up in this $100 a night room that's 5-star compared to Bledsoe Unit 13.
He gave Tucker a job, and more importantly, he helped him find his purpose.
They'll keep you away from the block or the hood or wherever that you used to hang that wasn't ever taking you anywhere. This truck's going to take you all over the country.
And you can find out more about the program by visiting the state's website at apprenticeshiptn.com. And after these messages, we'll be right back.
One thing about Parkview, we could bring our animal out there with us.
It would have been a deal breaker if we had not been able to take Gracie.
Yeah, we would not have gone.
If you want to do something, there's something to do most of the day. You shouldn't get bored.
I really enjoy my life here at Parkview. I really choose what I want to do. We have a wonderful library with hundreds of books that I love. It is a wonderful place.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Welcome back. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee and fishing icon Bill Dance have announced a new initiative to improve and enhance Tennessee lakes, increase visitation, and honor Dance's legacy with the creation of Bill Dance Signature Lakes. TWRA and the state of Tennessee will invest $15 million in improvements both above and below the water at 18 lakes which bear fishing legends Dance's stamp of approval. Tennesseans will benefit from increased stocking, habitat, and fisheries management, as well as improved access to fishing and boating. The collaborative effort between Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Tennessee State Parks, and Tennessee Department of Tourist Development seeks to solidify Tennessee as the heart of fishing in the Southeast and drive economic activity across the state. Timms Ford Lake is one of those selected to be worked on. We will update you when we hear what specific work will occur locally. In this video, Governor Bill Lee and legendary fisherman Bill Dance discuss the program.
I'm already on the hunt for a new fishing spot for me and Maria and the grandkids for this spring. It sure seems like all the best spots are some of Tennessee's best kept secrets.
You know, there's plenty of good fishing spots in our state, if you know where to look for them, Governor. Tennessee's got everything from big waters to bank fishing.
Well, if anyone knows fishing in the Southeast, sir, it is you. Where are we gonna find the big ones, Bill?
Good question. World-class fishing starts with good facilities and a well-managed fishery. I can think of about 18 lakes across the whole state that fit that bill.
18 Tennessee lakes that fit that bill? It sounds like we ought to get started on the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. Every Tennessean should know where to find the very best fishing in each Grand Division.
You know, that's got quite a ring to it, sir. But if I'm going to lend my name, I want anglers of all ages, from experts to amateurs, to have a legendary experience.
Well, then we better get to work if the Bill Dance Signature Lakes is going to launch in 2022.
2022. Tell you what, let's load up, grab your gear, your license, and I'll give you a sneak preview, Governor.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Let's go, buddy.
And we'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency monitors many different species of wildlife in the state. Research gives insight as to the health and prevalence of an animal on the landscape. That same research can also identify concerns related to animals deemed endangered. It's all part of their mission to preserve the wildlife of Tennessee. In this video, the TWRA looks at the streamside salamander.
So the streamside salamander is endangered in Tennessee, so it's state listed as endangered. It's not federally listed at this time, but at the state level, it was listed back in 2018. A lot of that is because at the time we didn't know how many populations we had, but the ones that we knew about were threatened by a lot of urban development and just urban sprawl. Well, we don't know where every population exists here in Middle Tennessee. It is a species it's limited, its range is limited in Middle Tennessee. And we really didn't know what we had until about 1997, because that's when streamside salamander was actually split from the smallmouth salamander, which is another species in the same genus. And they were always thought to be the same species, but they had different breeding preferences. One liked to breed in ephemeral wetlands, whereas this species likes to breed in ephemeral streams. And actually through genetic work and some differences in tooth morphology, they split it out into what is streamside salamanders. And so it's a relatively new species for the state, since it was just split out in the last 20 years or so. And so we're still learning about populations that we have in the state. We've added several populations here in recent years, but surprisingly, a lot of the populations that we find are actually in highly populated areas here in Middle Tennessee.
So when the salamanders are closer to the surface, the transmitter has the signal is pushed out further, easier. So the further they go underground, the weaker the signal strength is. So we were standing right there and we didn't pick anything up, but as soon as we crossed the stream, we picked up some sort of signal. I think she's pretty far underground, probably due to the temperature outside, because we're getting a really small range of signal right here. Like almost nothing right here, but then it's pinging out right there. And then try not to step under that on that branch because I think she's under there. But then just past it, there's nothing.
The salamanders that we're tracking have bred, because we've been tracking these for about 5 weeks now. So those animals are done breeding. So what we're seeing in the stream, that's the salamander's breeding habitat. And so they migrate to these habitats in the wintertime, basically December through March, and they breed and lay their eggs. And then once they're done with that, they move to the terrestrial habitat. And that's challenging for a species like this because it uses multiple habitats throughout the year. And so the ones that are in the stream, they're actually actively laying eggs. And so they don't all come on the same day or same night. It's spread out over several weeks during the breeding season. So we've got, we're tracking some animals that bred early, but we're also seeing differences in breeding times at individual sites. We've got some sites that the breeding was over with about Christmas. Here, there's obviously breeding still occurring the 1st of February. So with the species being relatively new, we have an understanding of habitats it uses throughout the year, but we don't know how much the terrestrial habitat is necessary for supporting populations of this animal. And we know that that a lot of emphasis has been placed in recent years on protecting the breeding habitat, which is the stream. But we don't know how much of that terrestrial habitat, which is necessary to support those populations, is required for maintenance. And so through implementing telemetry, we're hoping to track the animals for a short period, maybe not the entire period it takes for them to migrate away from these breeding seasons, or breeding streams, excuse me. But we're hoping we can identify how much of the habitat that they need to sustain these populations post-breeding. But the other thing too is we're actually identifying the habitat itself. I mean, we got a rough idea, but this will give us an idea of some of the characteristics at the micro scale that they're utilizing.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week we'll hear from Mary Samaniego about Tullahoma's expansion during 2021 and what's expected for 2022, along with Lyle Russell from Tullahoma's Parks and Rec Department about events coming to town. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. Then she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs. So this is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1950 at 74 degrees. The record low was in 1948 at -3 degrees. Average high for this day is 49 and the average low is 29. Mostly clear for tonight with a low of 21. Sunny skies expected for Wednesday with a high of 36 and a low of 21, and mostly sunny skies for Thursday, high of 49 and a low of 31. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader. Stay safe. Have a great evening.